Peace, wholeness, and divine blessings, everyone. I am the Fifth Force Oracle, and I am here to share the collective cosmic oracle reading of evolution, aka the core reading for us on this plasma. And so I definitely have to share some acknowledgments and give gratitude to the founders of M.I.M.E.C, which is High Priestess M.I.M.E.C, Nepta Harka, and Baba Wanique, for all of their, for them having the vision and also the contributions and the dedication that they've given to create such a community that's focused on us evolving global consciousness of the melanin dominant population. Okay, and so I also am honored as well to be a part of, um, to be a priestess initiate of the Mimic priesthood. Definitely thankful for the opportunity because it helps me to strengthen my inner calling and actually take that calling to the next level. So I'm thankful to be a part of that journey with the priesthood. Also, shout out to Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment and all of those that support M.I.M.E.C, Synchronistic Human, as well as Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts. And so, with that, I want to go ahead and get us prepared for this oracle reading. And also, shout out Brother Aqil for always holding it down, bringing us into the sessions, and just giving us the overview and the reminder of where we currently are within the cycles. We really have this opportunity to use the cosmology to personally develop ourselves through just observing how we are in our relationship with our own energy, our own divine essence, and bringing those things to our awareness so that we can align within and as a collective. And so, in this oracle reading, I want to invite you all to look at it from the perspective or the mindset of a synchronaut, which is recognizing that you are a living expression of divine synergy in motion. Here, remembering what your divine purpose is so that you can consciously create and fulfill your soul's mission. And being that we are uh, wrapping up the blue heptad and preparing for the yellow heptad, what I would love for us to focus on is now, now that, we've been going throughout this moon, through the first through heptads of, gaining new insights and refining ourselves. And, we've reached a point of, having that patience to transform our conduct so that we can really come into, um, our full creative power, our full creative essence. And so, what I would like for us to do is to focus in on, shifting into consciously creating for the purpose of fulfilling your mission. So, this next part we're going to do, we are going to say our personal galactic signature affirmation. And we're doing this to, reconnect or stay in that connection, or to, just sit in that frequency of what we embody, or the divine energy that we embody when we incarnated. And really pay attention to, any energy or thoughts or insights that may flow in for you, that is, that you feel called to focus in on. You want to tap into your own frequency with this. And so I would love for us to just take a moment to do like a 4 count breathing, where you're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold it for 4. And then after that, I just want you to slowly take a deep inhale and exhale. And we're going to do this to prepare for saying our affirmation. So, we're just breathing just to, calm our minds and to get present and prepared for the oracle reading moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it. Now take a slow inhale in through your nose, filling up your chest, and then exhale slowly out of your mouth. And now, we're going to say our affirmation. So I want you to speak it out loud or say it at your pace and really resonate with the words of your affirmation. Pay attention to what's standing out for you. And so we're going to do this by saying, as a living expression of, then you're going to say your kin number, its name, and then your galactic signature. And so please join me in stating your affirmation as I state mine. As a living expression of Kin 181, the red crystal dragon, I dedicate in order to nurture, universalizing being. I seal the input of birth with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of space. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. And one last line I want us to say is, just repeat after me. I am consciously creating and fulfilling my soul's mission. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. All right, so just a little background. We will be utilizing the Destiny Kin Oracle Board. This is where this is where the Oracle is coming from, based on the fifth dimensional template for the archetype of for the kin of the plasma. And what's powerful about the Oracle Board is that it not only does it help us to align with the natural cycles of time, it also helps us to strengthen our own cosmic synergy while we're in flow and in that alignment with the natural cycles. So this helps us to get into a better flow of how we navigate through our daily experiences and how we connect with ourselves and each other. And so it also invites us to move beyond ego, get connected with our heart space, our heart or inner knowing that's actually there to support us in the remembrance and fulfillment of our divine purpose and mission. And so just to take a closer look at the kin of the plasma, we are on Kin 164, which is the archetype of the yellow seed. And so if you look to the left of if you look to the left, you will see the basic template for the yellow seed, where we have the red earth sitting down below in the emotional body, the white wizard in the mental body, and then the blue eagle over on the right. And you will see a clear box up top for the position of the archetype that will be sitting in the spirit guide position. And the archetype that sits there is dependent on the galactic tone for that particular archetype. So being that we're on the yellow galactic seed, we have the yellow galactic star that is sitting in the spirit guide position. And I'm going to go into more detail about each of those archetypes when we get into the oracle reading. And so first, before we do that, I do want to go through the breakdown of um, the yellow galactic seed, because each part of the name holds significance to how this frequency or this kinergy helps to fulfill the mission of the red earth wave spell. And this wave spell is for us to fulfill the mission of tapping into the power of how we navigate, the way that we evolve the synchronicities that we experience in our lives, so that we can purify the flow of, or to operate in a pure flow of our essence, to experience a life that, just flows better. We have a lot of energy around us. It's a lot of things that may be going on and is going on in this world that sometimes it can sometimes we can be susceptible to some of those energies. And so that's why it's important for us to really tap into this wave spell, so that we can purify the way that we flow in our own creative energy, in our own destiny path, and everything like that, amongst the universal frequencies and energies that's going on around us. Okay, so the yellow galactic seed is a part of this wave spell that's helping us to fulfill this mission. And so the yellow is just like with the heptad. This is where the power ripens fruits. When we look at the seed, the seed is known as the innocent one, and it holds the power of flowering that targets awareness. Another way to look at this is, about us being aware of, or I'll say about us having the awareness, we can recognize what our targets are, what our goals are, and get into the power of flowering, which is when it starts to bloom. So in order to accomplish the goals and the visions that we have, we got to set a target. And so um, the kin of this plasma is helping us to do that with the galactic tone. That's the vibration of this creative essence that the yellow seed brings. And I do apologize, ignore the typo here. The galactic tone, what it should say is harmonize integrity and models. So we are focusing on harmonizing the integrity of being aware of what our target is, being aware of the seeds that we are planting, and modeling that same awareness. And so you can see that when we read the affirmation for the kin of the plasma, I got the remix version up here, and it states, I harmonize my navigation in order to target. And actually, I'm going to read this and say you. So you harmonize your navigation in order to target the universal water by modeling your awareness. You seal your informed input of flowering with the galactic tone of integrity. So that's basically saying that, by you being aware and modeling that awareness, you're locking in that information, that input of the seeds that you are planting with the galactic tone of integrity. So you're modeling that integrity of what you're aware of. Like, so for example, say that, I don't know why I always talk about tying your shoes, but imagine that you notice that your shoe is untied, or you are aware that your shoe is untied. Now, having that awareness, the different things that may happen. You could trip on it or whatever the case may be, but you should be tying your shoe, right? So this is where modeling that integrity comes in, that, by you being aware of what you're aware of, there's some calling for you to hold the integrity of that. And so sometimes it's not even that you always have to do something immediately because you're aware of something, but you have to still have that integrity with the fact that you are aware now. You know what I'm saying? So this last line here says, you are guided by the power of elegance. That power of elegance is coming from the yellow star in the spirit guide position. And it has this yellow star is about modeling the art of it, getting to a beautiful creation of what you are targeting. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more here as we are going to move into the oracle reading itself. And so continue to, focus in on your Kinergy, or what your Kinergy is showing you, or your galactic signature is showing you. Remember what stood out for you when you were saying your affirmation. Also, remember what stood out for you as you were saying the affirmation for the yellow galactic seed, because whatever stands out is calling for your awareness. So now we get to practice modeling that awareness as we do the oracle reading. And so some of these thoughts can come from some of the things that you may be aware of, can come from just like, your personal um, development, developmental goals, relationships. It could be anything. Your endeavors, it can even be simple as to, how you do things around your household, you know what I'm saying, or within your house. So it's just really focusing on us modeling the awareness of what our goals are, and being in harmony with the way that we are navigating and making sure we're holding that integrity. And so that is the kin in the center that we are focusing on today, which again is holding the galactic tone. And the galactic tone, or the question that comes with the galactic tone, is, do I live what I believe? So that's like, based on the things that you are aware of, do you really live like that? Do you really think like that? Is that how you really feel? So this is the kin of this plasma is helping us to tap into that awareness, so that we can know how to model, the art of who we say we are and what we say we're here to do and create and etc. Right? And so I do want to just, touch on the spirit guide position, or the kin in the spirit guide position, which is the yellow galactic star. And it's talking about modeling the art so we can beautify the elegance. So sometimes when we see these words, we gotta like switch it up to another word that really hits harder. So for me, when I think about elegance, the first thing that comes to mind is grace, moving with gracefulness and having a certain way that we're practicing it. Practice is another way to look at the art. It's an artistry. It's a certain practice. Like, you're not just doing it real quick, trying to get it done and over with. It takes some creative essence and some artistry to beautify it, right? So it's the same thing with how we model our awareness. We're being guided to model our awareness just like it's a work of art, because we are a work of art. And so that is the direction that we are to focus with whatever it is that we're aware of. Whatever came up for you, focus on different, like how you can model um, gracefulness. How can you model being in the artistry or in the practice of taking that awareness towards for planting the seeds or fulfilling your goals. And so I do want to jump down to before I jump down to the emotional body, um, I do want to mention that the spirit guide is guiding us towards reflecting divine order, or universalizing order, or establishing some order in our lives, so that excuse me, so that we can really show up in what we're saying that we're dedicated to accomplishing. Okay, so just want you to keep that in mind as we continue to go through the reading. You'll start to see how the different archetypes of the Destiny Oracle is helping us to get that order straight. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the emotional body, where we have the red rhythmic earth. And what's so dope about us having the rhythmic earth in the emotional body, remembering that the emotional body is where we get the energy fuel to, where we're getting the fuel from. So like, we can have a focus, but to actually get moving in the focus in the direction we're meant to go, we got to get some energy. We got to get something, we got to get some energy and motion flowing inside of us. So that's the emotions. The emotions is what fuels us to take certain actions. It also fuels the way that we think, along with different perceptions that we may have, or um, impressions that we picked up on. And so just to bring it back to the emotional body, um, the red rhythmic earth sits here, and it is fueling us to bring balance in our life, bring balance to the way that we are evolving or navigating in our evolution. So it's telling us to bring balance to the synchronicities. So the way that synchronicities are created is based on the energy, thoughts, and our actions, right? So we got to bring balance to all of those things. They all have to be in alignment with what we're aware of and the goals that we are heading towards. And so what I was saying about this being dope as um, for being in the emotional body is because it is talking about balance, and the main frequency that the yellow seed is the galactic tone, which is talking about harmony. So in order to create harmony, we got to have some balance. You know what I'm saying? So I also think of the harmony and the balance, like being in a state of um, equilibrium. Like, we got some balance all around us in the way that we feel, our thoughts, and our actions. And so yeah, I thought that was really dope to see that the rhythmic tone is the emotional tone for the galactic tone. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the mental body, where we have the white galactic wizard. And the white galactic wizard is a part of the blue hand wave cell, which is the mission to accomplish, or the mission of accomplishments. So when we think about how the wizard is sitting in the mental body is there to strengthen our focus. Um, this is where we will notice different challenges in our experience. However, on the other side of the challenge is the actual gift. So, bringing it to the fact that this wizard is a part of the blue hand wave spell, we could be thinking about, or what this oracle is doing is encouraging us to think about some of the challenges that we have when it comes to modeling the awareness, and getting into the art of reflecting the order of our goals, because, like, for example, we can know that we got to do all these different steps to fulfill our goal. However, if we're not modeling that receptivity, then it'll be a lot more challenging to actually complete or accomplish those goals. So this is where we have the galactic wizard here to say, okay, look, I'm gonna need you to enchant timelessness. Stop trying to rush stuff. Stop being intimidated by time, or feeling the pressure of time, and really allow yourself to sit in that space to model the receptivity. So it also reminds me of how, like, we could become aware of something, but we try to avoid it. You can't avoid what you're aware of. If you're aware, you're aware. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you gotta do something right away. Like I said, you could still sit in that space of receptivity to recognize how you want to navigate now with this awareness. So, on this plasma, we are being challenged to strengthen our focus by being receptive of the things that we become aware of. And so, like, for example, because we are in the spectral moon, the spectral moon is like, throughout this whole moon, we're meant to focus on releasing and letting go. So throughout this moon, if you became aware of certain things you needed to release and let go, here again, this is the perfect time to really sit in that and be receptive to it. Stop trying to avoid letting go of the things that you need to let go of to meet your goals. And so that is what the white galactic wizard is bringing in for us to do. And then last but not least, on the right, this is the physical body, position where like whatever we're experiencing on the inside or observing on, okay, let me say it this way. Whatever we are experiencing on the inside is going to be reflected on the outside just because we are perceiving it. And just in the reverse, whatever we're perceiving in our day-to-day experiences is a reflection of how we're perceiving. So by us being aware of the perceptions that we have, that can also influence how we model our awareness or model what it's like to go after our goals. And so, being that we have the blue galactic eagle that's sitting here, is supporting us to create the vision through modeling the mindset that we need to meet the target. So, like, I was thinking about an experience that I had recently, where I had like this really profound clarity moment, um, of me recognizing uh, some quote unquote blockages in me staying focused, right? And so when I sat in that awareness of it, it's so dope because, okay, let me not get sidetracked. But anyway, so when I sat in my awareness of it, I just had this aha moment where it became clear to me that, okay, if I keep getting distracted by me being aware of something that's not actually helping me to fulfill my goals, maybe I need to change my mindset. So then I'm like, okay, so what can I transform my mindset to help me operate in the mindset that I need to operate in? And that's essentially what the blue galactic eagle is there to do. So what also can support us in modeling this mindset is to create the vision, create the mental picture of what you see what it's going to look like for you to accomplish your goals, or for you to model your goals. Okay, so that is essentially what um, the blue galactic eagle is encouraging us to do, or is there to support us in doing. And so as we transform our mind, we also transform the experiences that we're having, in our daily experience, which also shifts the synchronicities that pop up. And then therefore we come into more clarity of how to reflect the divine order that's going to help us to accomplish our goals. And so also with that, we go through this process of enduring, catalyzing our own creative essence, constantly catalyzing our own essence as divine frequency beings, so that we can, you know, plant the seeds that we intend to plant or to experience. And so with that, um, basically going to conclude the oracle reading for us on this plasma. And just remind you or encourage you all to be intentional, um be in wait, I don't want to say it, be in intentional alignment with the natural cycles, so that you empower yourself, empower your own divine awareness, and look at different ways that you can creatively contribute to your personal evolution and the evolution of us as a whole. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Sending you my love, my gratitude. Just want to say that, I love y'all for holding space and really allowing me to share uh, my calling with you all. And I want to say, may that you all enjoy your creation today. And I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Love y'all. Peace.